So
Can you?
it's working.
I don't know. Get all this, close all that crap off. Okay.
All right, there you are. I wish there's gonna be.
Gotta get myself set up here.
All right. Wait for some people to get on here. I don't see anybody.
Hello, Tamara.
Hi, how are you?
Ornery as ever.
Oh, I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Me either.
Oh, there is a.
I want to thank you guys for your prayers, by the way.
Oh,
Oh yeah, we're just
so happy.
we're happy, man. That's hopefully done and over with. And every what you said, every 6 months.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's something else. That
So what are we doing tomorrow, by the way? Are we heading out towards where we were going to go, or what are we up to?
yeah, we're gonna head over to your neck of the woods tomorrow, and we'll check some areas out. That area you were talking about earlier in the week, possibly. I'm kind of want you to guide us on an area, but there's definitely stuff happening all over the place. But it's always good to check different areas. I think I've always liked that.
I think that it's.
Hey, how you doing? I'm glad you're hanging out with us here. This is my first time doing this on the computer, so it was definitely somewhat of a learning curve, and it's not too late for me to wreck everything. so bear with us. We're newbies at this live stuff, anyways. We're usually on video, anyways, and loading that and editing, but this live stuff it's pretty neat. But there's a learning curve to it, I guess. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll head up and check out those areas up there or over there where you're at and see how that goes. Snow's coming. We already had snow here at, I think, 4,000 feet and up. So it's probably melted by now, but all that is coming. So the squatching is going to get a little bit tougher if we end up going to the Cascades. Cascade Range is probably going to get hammered here for too long. So Coastal Range is a good place to go. Southern Oregon, another place we like going, but they just had a big fire down there. So, and it devastated a bunch of area. And we yet need to go down. We need to go down there and take another look and those areas. And hopefully, I don't think they got burned up, but we'll see. We'll see what the activity level is. That place was pretty good. I mean, we've had a lot of weird stuff happen there, and I don't know. I just definitely one of those places I don't want to go back to. And back to this little lake area we were at. Want to head back there, but it I don't know how it is. I don't know if that area got burned up or not or whatever, but I'm hoping it won't. It wasn't burned up because that's a couple of areas in there where we've gotten some really good
Growls.
vibes and growls and some weird
Screams.
stuff that, you know, I don't know. I can't explain what it was. But nonetheless, we got to head back down there. So what do you think about that, Jack? Heading to your neck of the woods tomorrow?
Oh, what are you talking about?
Heading over your place tomorrow?
Oh, heck yeah. Come on down. Our place is interesting. And what I found across the road there on the other side of 18, where I was at the other day,
Yeah.
there's another place up there that it it was telling me that oh, it was just one of those. It's like the Road of Dread. It has that polish to it that you don't belong there. It's got that feeling that uh, there's strange stuff that goes on there.
Yeah.
It's one of those places that you got that feeling that you don't really belong there, but you want to be there. Kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Uh, Nothing that's scary. It's just like be on your toes.
Yeah. Just
Be
an
ready for anything.
uncomfortable place to be, kind of, you know. Some people don't. I don't know if people understand that or not, but I'm sure, you know, everybody's been somewhere where they just feel uncomfortable being in there. You know, it's just you just something's not right. I guess like you have eyes on you. You know,
Well,
and
that Road of Dread, that night that Road of Dread, when I went up there to spend that night, that well, you guys know about that, but a lot of the people that are watching probably don't. I went up there. That's why I call it the Road of Dread, because
right.
I went up there and I went all the way up to the end, and there was a lot of garbage up around in there, and a lot of people had dumped a lot of stuff. And I went clear up to the end and started setting up my stuff. And I had my two dogs with me. Well, my two dogs just acted weird. I mean, I know we were like a pack, you know, and they were acting weird. And I got this really weird feeling, um, maybe in the afternoon sometime, that it didn't feel right. Well, the dogs were acting really weird. The one young one, he was in the tent and he was on my bed shaking around, and the older one, he was inside the trooper, pulled as far on his chain as he could get, and he looked like he was being tormented.
I mean,
And I kept getting,
at that time that your dog kind of felt like it was being tormented and didn't want to come out. I mean, what were you thinking? What were you thinking at that moment?
I was thinking that the dogs were telling me something. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that maybe I think that I was getting the vibe that they didn't like it and there was something really wrong and they were telling me something. Dogs always tell you something. That's kind of like my safety net when I take them places.
Right.
Anyway, they didn't like it there. And so I started getting this mental vibe, this mind speak that you don't belong here. You need to leave. And this is about around dark. It started getting really weird because I could hear these stomping around in the back behind me, and I started hearing this growling around, and then it went into my mind that I didn't belong there, that I needed to leave. So I grabbed my two backpacks that I had sitting there and the dogs, and they were having absolutely no problem getting in the truck, not at all. They hopped in the truck and we left. And we left everything up there. I mean, I got goosebumps right now just thinking about it. That place was freaky. And you
Uh,
know as well as I do.
you ended up just leaving and left all your, you know, your tent and all your stuff up there, right? I mean, you just
Oh yeah,
peeled out.
I left every single thing up there except those two backpacks and the dogs. I
Nice.
left everything. I went back up there the next day and I set that tripod up and was watching myself take the camp down. And I had that red wagon, and you guys saw that red
Yeah.
wagon as I was pushing that stuff. That red wagon moved, and you know as well as I do, it didn't move by itself. There was something weird about that place, just plain freaky. And then when we went back up there to do that night thing, our cameras wouldn't work and all that stuff was just acting up. Well, came back and took the batteries, and I checked the batteries. The batteries were fine. I took the camera and used the camera again, and it was just fine. So there's just really something about that area that's just not right.
A real team one, mother-in-law. I get that. You feel like you got eyes on you and it's the mother-in-law. That's no surprise. Sorry, I'm just reading a comment off here. Anyways, go ahead, Jack. Continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jack.
This is my mother-in-law. That's funny as heck. I like that.
Yeah, that's always.
Well, that place where we go is just, it's like an enchanted forest because there's so much of it that's there. And everywhere you go on, it doesn't matter which side of that particular road that we go on, it doesn't matter which side we go on, they're there. And you can feel them. And
Yeah.
when you walk into that area, sometimes, like that Road of Dread, when you walk up there, you can feel the difference in the atmosphere.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
the whole that whole area there is like a gaping hole that hasn't been filled or something. I don't know. It's just got a really weird feeling to it. Well, when I went up across the road there, when I was up the other day, I found that same kind of a feeling in
Oh,
that spot that, and it's just, it's one of those places where you go and it's at the end of the road. And it's just one of those places where it makes you wonder whether somebody was camping there, what kind of experiences they've had there, you
Right.
know? When I go a lot of those places where I know that they're actually there, and I see people that camp there, it always makes me wonder just what kind of experiences those people had while they were camping there. Oh, whoops! Just
Yeah.
like for instance, when we were up there behind the gate there, and we found that pole that somebody left there. Somebody left there expensive walking pole.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's the area right exactly there is where my daughter got infrasounded. So that's what we were thinking. Remember, we were thinking
Yeah.
somebody got infrasounded right there, and they took off just like she did and ran off. Just dropped
Yeah.
their pole and ran. That place is
Nice.
just
Yeah.
it's got some pretty interesting places.
Yeah. That was a nice, aluminum hiking pole that somebody left there. And those aren't, you know, not something you want to leave around. Obviously, they cost money. They're,
Yeah, it's just like they got the infrasound and they dropped it and they ran back to the car like my daughter did. I've never seen my daughter scared like that before. All she could do is say car and haul boy she I had to run after her.
yeah. I'm a big believer in feelings, and there's something that hairs in your back and your neck stand up, and there's something telling you something. I mean, I always pay attention to that. And, my wife Tamara is more in tune than I am when it comes to that kind of stuff. But so I always go by her hunch, right? She feels something. Well, it'd be on your toes, but it's just odd that you get these feelings out there, when you're walking around and, when you go camping and stuff, you're not, I don't know, you're not looking, we go out looking for Sasquatch and stuff like that, our forest friends, but you pick on little subtleties that otherwise a person really wouldn't be looking at, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not really looking for 16 foot or a 16-inch print or anything like that. But once you start really narrowing down on what you're kind of looking for, it's kind of like elk hunting, right? It's elk hunting or deer hunting. You kind of look for their tracks and this and that, and go from there. And the same thing with squatching, right? If you're not paying attention, you're not looking at stuff, and you know, you got to be, you got to look at stuff a little bit different. I mean, a track's a track, and it can be a little deceiving sometimes when you look at some stuff, But you got to make your own judgment whether you think it's something credible or not, and that's all there is to it. There is no, as far as I'm concerned, there is no expert that knows,
No.
for sure about these beings. Everything is hearsay. Nothing's factual, but there's something out there. I mean, there's definitely something out there. When we first started this about a year and a half ago,
yeah.
you know, we didn't really know what we were doing. We went out looking, and we started learning stuff. Read some books and started learning stuff, looking for tracks and little signs here and there. And sure enough, I mean, we started seeing a bunch of stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that the wind can cause too, right? Windstorms
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff. I mean, it's easy to misinterpret stuff. And I don't like to jump the gun and say, hey, this is all definitely a Squatch made this or this and that. You just you just never know. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt that you find, and except a good print, it's hard to argue that one. It really is hard to. Bears have claws, and everything has claws on it basically out there. When you see something with 5 toes, you know that's 14 to 16 inches long. It's what else is it going to be? Is there you think there's really a guy walking around here barefoot? You know, it just doesn't make sense. Just does not make sense. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going out again. So we've been kind of not done anything for, I don't know, 3 weeks, and that's due to work schedule, and
Weather.
the weather's been horrible. Last couple of times well, that. I mean, we've been trying to go out last couple weekends, and it's just been terrible. High winds and trees laying sideways and everything else. So not safe to go up there. Also, too, hunting season's on right now, and don't really want to partay in that too much.
Place is wild with them. I mean, it's just packed with them.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of people on hunting, and I really don't feel like getting shot. So we kind of
And,
hang a little bit, and hunting season's coming to an end here. So I feel a little bit better about that, going out and doing some more squatching anyways. But that's just kind of my take on that kind of stuff. I mean, I try not to jump the gun on stuff, because it's
well,
there's a lot of stuff that can be misinterpreted pretty quickly. If you got Sasquatch and you don't look at stuff a little bit more scientifically, then it's easy to get carried away with everything. You know, my
well,
opinion.
there's a lot of us, probably a lot of people that are watching that actually, when they go out, they actually, you have to really know what you're looking for, or you just you drive right over the top of it. You look right over the top of it. I mean, there's a lot of things on the ground that, like they're wood Latins, what I call it. They're stick talk. The X's, the A's, the things that are left there, the broken trees that are pointing towards something. There's always something there that's a meaning something. And a lot of people will say, well, this X means this or the A means that. And, you know, how do we know?
Yeah,
We're not experts. We don't know. All I know is that's what they're there. I don't know what they mean. That's why I call them wood Latin, because I can't read Latin and I can't read their stick talk. So I don't know. So it's one of those things where everybody has their opinion, but nobody really knows for sure, because, like you said before, nobody's an expert. These beings have showed me things that just blew me away. I mean, they have shapeshifted I mean, they have just blown me away. They have shown me things. When I was living there at Florence,
right.
well, I was living amongst them. I mean, they allowed us to live there. And they showed me things that just blew me away. I don't know if I showed you that video of when I went back and picked the cameras up, and they told me not to come back that way because they didn't like the cameras.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. And every time we had a camera set up, behind that camera, there would be one of those wood Latin stick talk things. Like they were showing each other that don't come back over there because there's a camera. Time that and while I was living there, that's the first time that I ever felt like they were telling me I was not living up to my contract or agreement. I
Right.
was pushing because I was putting those cameras out. And when I got that third one up, that's when they told me, don't come back this way. And I didn't. I went back the other way. That rattled me. I mean, that was the first time that I ever had a feeling that they were unhappy. And I did not want them being unhappy. So I left out there for a day, I think, or a day or two, and I went back. And when I was picking those cameras up, somewhere along the line, I got a 2-minute video of me hauling one of those out of there, and I'm talking to them. I'm telling them, man, I'm getting out of it. I was nervous. I didn't like it. And I went back the other way again, too. And what was really interesting is while I was down there picking that camera, they were over there putting stuff in the way so I couldn't get back that way. It was interesting. I mean, them guys were, and they're stealthy. They're real stealthy. They
Oh,
got stuff that they got abilities that we don't have and we don't understand and we never probably will. And that's
I
why I tell
I totally agree with you on that. You know, like I said, when we first started, I wasn't thinking of any of this paranormal stuff. but yeah, I definitely believe they have something that we don't. They know something. They have a sixth sense about them, that abilities that they have that we do not understand, and I don't think we will ever understand. Uh, Nowadays, it seems like, if let me give a shout out real quick to Stuart Wilson,
Oh yeah,
watching from Scotland. So hey, welcome.
awesome.
Glad you're here watching, man. Appreciate it. But I don't think anybody's is ever understand any of the stuff they can do, and I just it blows me away that there's something out there that can do that. But the fact of the matter is, people are like, well, we got to find one and kill one, or they
Yeah.
want to bring a body in, and
Good luck.
It but even besides that, though, even if you had a perfect video, I mean, eh, nobody's gonna believe it, right? There's always, oh, that's AI or that's photoshopped. I mean, so at this point, I mean, I don't know if you could ever convince anybody. It's either you believe, or you go out there and you make your own mind, right? You make your own judgment. You start looking for the little signs, and they'll start adding up. But I in this day and age, I don't think that, man, any type of video or anything is going to do jack diddly squat, because they'll be claiming fake. That's all I ever see all the time. Everything that anybody puts out, oh, that's fake. But that's because there's a lot of people that don't believe in any of this. They don't think there's no squatch. They don't believe they live. Sometimes people live in a square box. They live in a square box, and they can't see beyond that. They know what they've been taught in school, and there's nothing else besides that. But believe me, there's a lot more in this world than we know about. Anyways, go ahead, Jack. Continue. Sorry.
Well, in the 1980s, there was a young gentleman that Freeman. Do you remember him?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that man was okay. This is before AI and all that stuff, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, that man was pretty doggone legitimate, and the things that he captured are reality. I mean, at one point we had, well, as you know, we went to the primate experts years ago and was talking to the primate experts about what was going on, and they taught us this and that. And one of the people that we had was a guy named Carlos Spacitos, I believe his name was, and he's the one that taught us how to hang stuff up and do this and that and the other. And the Freeman and him were talking back and forth, and come to find out, Freeman uh, was the kind of guy that was legitimate. I mean, even
Yeah. I mean, I
even
like worked for the Forest Service for years. I think he retired from the Forest Service, knowing
yeah,
a bunch of this stuff that was going on. So
yeah, and that was before AI and all this other stuff. So you know, they can't fake stuff. Back in the old days, you either took a film of it, and I mean, you got a man in a suit that you. How in the heck you gonna
yeah,
fake a
I mean,
suit like that?
yeah, that's as far as that's going to go, right? I don't think there was much of photoshopping. Maybe there was. I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but back in the early '80s and 70s, so the only thing they could say really is like, hey, it's a a guy in a suit, you know. But I don't know.
Well,
That's a lot of work to be putting into a some type of prank, I guess. But who knows?
well, even in the '80s, we were doing 8 millimeter movies. I got one of. In fact, I got one in my safe right now that we've never even looked at. If I could find an 8 millimeter projector, which I think I got one somewhere, I'd like to see that. I'd like to go ahead. I'd like to have a movie night, just to see what that's like. It might be two stooges doing crazy stuff. I don't know. It's just me and cousin or Uncle Brad, brother Bradley. That's all it is. It's just you know, the kids call him Uncle B, but it's me and him doing our stuff back in the '80s, and I think he's got one of these someplace, one of those films someplace. But he keeps telling me I don't know where it's at, so I don't know. But I really would like to have a movie night. Check that out some night because that was clear back when we were young, and we
Young.
had no idea. I've got a picture here. With its arm over, right?
Right.
Okay. When the 35 millimeter camera or the film comes back, the picture comes back, it's not there. Well, we didn't know at that time anything about their abilities. But now I've taken this up to Brett and Jill and showed them. They actually, at that particular time, it was cloaking itself. You could see the eyes, you could see the mouth, you could see the outline, you could see everything. It was cloaking itself at that time. But at that time in the 80s, we had no idea they had that ability.
Yeah.
We just thought we just thought it disappeared. We didn't. We
I,
looked at each
I
other. We were
yeah,
dumbfounded.
I seen that clip, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, it looked like something out of the Predator movie. To me it did. You know, you could see like the backlighting kind of shift, and
Oh yeah,
yeah, it that really blew me away. I'm like, what the heck, right? I mean, there's another thing to look at, right? It's like, how is that even possible, right? How is that possible?
they
Crazy.
got abilities.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Let me give a shout out to Mr. Rick Tenbush. How you doing, buddy? And
Howdy,
Jader from Colorado. I'm glad you're here. I hope you
howdy,
guys are
howdy.
all there in Colorado.
Hey, Jack, I got a question for you. So, have you ever, when you come across all that Latin that you
Wood
talk
Latin.
about, the wood Latin, have you ever, when you speak with your forest friends, have you ever asked them what that meant or what the X's ever meant that you see out in the forest?
Yeah, I have.
And did they ever reply and say what it
It's an
was?
invitation to the next ones, to the new ones, to the next ones. You know,
Oh,
the not, the ones that are in. Okay, there's many of them out there. So they're inviting the next clan over. That's their area. Come on in. It's not a X like it's, oh, don't come in here. Or because a lot of times you'll see broken trees, busting off trees.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
you'll see things like that. Maybe that's a warning, but maybe it's not. As far as those forest folks go, that's not. You have to have that vibe. Okay, when I go into a place, if it's a new place, I'll talk to him. Mentally, I'll talk to him. I'm not here to do this or that or anything. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk to them before
Right.
in my videos. Uh, it's a it's a trust thing. It's a trust and respect thing. And the X does not mean anything bad. The A is. Do you know what the A signifies? It
Mm-mm.
signifies the atmosphere of where they're at.
Oh, okay. That's
That's
it.
it's this is what they tell me. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I mean, I may be all crazy, but this is what I get. This is what I get. I get and like okay, they're not living up there right now where we were at because of the cameras. Remember, I was telling you. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know if you put that out, but they were telling me that they're gone because somebody put a camera out there, and now they're living up here behind my house. And I've got pictures of what they've done to my yard, and my wife didn't like it. I mean, it was really weird. They got a wood Latin set up on my yard. Okay, well, my wife didn't like it, so he told me to go take it up off. So I'm mentally talking to him while I'm tearing it apart. I'm saying, okay, I'm not doing this because I'm being mean. My wife don't like it here on the yard, and she's telling me to get rid of it. So I take it over and I stack it up and I put it away. Right? Okay.
Right.
That next day, I go out there, and no, it was 2 days later. I go back out there, and this is what I find. I go over underneath the tree, off of the yard, away from the everything, and it's another one, a brand new one. And then they tell me, it's not in the yard now, is it?
No.
So I left that one. I took that out. It's still sitting there in the yard. And then uh, I have this website that I go on, a friend of mine's, and I put that on there one day, and they asked me if some of the neighbors have those, ever have them. Well, there's one down the road. There's three down the road. My next door neighbor across the road there, they always do stuff with her. Before I even moved here, they were doing stuff with her. And I went over there and I took a look at that, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool because these little people are doing the little men, stick showers are actually doing stuff over here. Well, they have a fifth wheel trailer, and they had X's and all kinds of little things underneath the trailer. I got pictures of them. I mean, what we started doing was putting shells and little things out, glow in the dark things, and they would move them around. They played this little game with them. I think they still play that game with them. But yeah,
Right.
they're actually do stuff here. Well, they lived okay when they started moving. The neighbors across the road moved in. It was like a wild jungle there, I guess. They had about a year of cleaning the area out and stuff. Well, we're living in the living room. If you think about it, I live in the woods. I live right there in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
Okay, I could go over to Jerry's house on the other side, and they're there. I could go over. Well, okay, the bus stop. Well, okay, we got that T. Remember where I showed you that where the T is, where my road goes down?
Yeah.
Okay, right there is where the bus stop is. Oh, the last spring, I guess. These people, they had this big tree and they chopped a bunch of the branches off and they stuck them up on the, stacked them up on the side right next to the tree. Okay. About 3 days later, I noticed that there's a wood Latin thing on top of all the berry bushes. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, they're here. I know they're here. Okay. The lady that owns the house comes down to the bus stop because the kids are standing there and us adults are there. And the lady stops. She says, "Would you please ask the kids not to mess with the wood?" The kids had nothing to do with it. She thought the kids had taken that wood and stuck them in that area, stuck them on the berry bushes, and they had nothing to do with it. So they're
So
here.
yeah, when we were down in Southern Oregon, we ran across a lot of arches. We went down there consecutively, probably I don't know for a month straight. Yeah. Every weekend we were going down, and we'd go in the same area, and there was always arches in there, and the arches would change. You'd find them in different spots, like week to week, like something was going in there and changing with these arches. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly what the arches signify or what they mean by them, but that place we were down there was, I mean, that's the most amount of arches that I've ever been in. I mean, I've been in the woods a lot, but that was there was more than I've ever seen before. And I don't know what that means. I do not know what the arches mean, and I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious on your input on that. What do you think about that?
Well, what they tell me is that's the female readjusting her living room.
Okay, makes sense.
You
Okay.
take a look at some of those stumps that got stuff around on them. That's their living room, dining room tables, or would be like our table with a lamp on it. That's their. To me, that's what they tell me. That's why they change all the time. That's why you got a lot of different ones. Guys could think I'm crazy, but that's pretty much what it is. That's why they change. Remember when we went down to the area down below, not the main road, but we went down that one that took off to the left, and we went down below. And
Yeah,
okay, down in that area, that changes a lot down in there. I've got videos of that changing over the years, but that's another place where the arches change a lot too. And I've got a lot of pictures of that over the years changing. This whole area that we're going to go to tomorrow is just got a lot of crazy stuff that yeah, I honestly believe that when they're there and we don't see them, but we feel them, especially you, young lady, you know how to feel them. But
Oh yeah.
when they're there and we don't see them, it's because they don't want us to. But
yeah,
what gets me is a lot of times the camera will catch them and we won't see them. But we
Mm-hmm.
go back and look at the camera, what the camera's got, and you will see them. Today I was at the restaurant, and one of the kids that is the server, he lives out by where I live. And I was showing him, I showed my wife, I says, look at this. I says, look at this. You look at this corner, and this is cloaked. I says, there's the face, there's the shape, there's everything. And the kid comes over and looks at that, and he goes, I can even see that. Yeah, they're there, but I didn't see it, but the camera did. So there's a lot of things that they can do that just blow you away.
So
yeah,
remember, and I was telling you when we went back down to Powers that one time, and they had all those arches, and we went back about a week or so ago to get our stuff, and they were almost all gone, but just a few. And then remember, I told you I was standing there and I was videoing it, and I was watching to my right to make sure that Fernando was watching me, and that's when I heard that growl in my left ear. Remember, plain as day, but I didn't hear anything walk up on me because he would have hollered if there was a bear or a cougar or something behind me. I didn't hear anything, but it was right next to me and it was
Yep.
pulling that
Yeah,
ground.
I mean,
And I hear
yeah,
whoops, hollers when we go up on that and that one section.
like I
Yeah.
said, it.
I,
You know, we've had so many strange things happen, unexplainable things go on and on and
yeah,
on. And you tell people this, and most of the time they're like, "Yeah, well, you're hearing stuff, you're nuts or whatever." But man, I tell you, you have to experience it, and maybe you'll start changing your frame
yeah,
of mind, the way you think. Because I know I have changed the way I think ever since we started doing this, and the more we got involved, and then hanging out with you, it has totally changed my way of thinking on a lot of stuff, on a lot of stuff. But let me give a quick shout out to Patty. How you doing?
hi, Patty.
You're
Howdy.
Yeah, Patty's one of my favorites. Great lady. But yeah, I don't know. It's we've had so many strange things happen that I don't know what other conclusion you can come up with at the end of the day. And that's kind of where we're at, on that whole part of having experiences. I have not had hiding. I've
Nope.
yet to see one, but man,
That's
like I said, all the stuff we've had happen together, me and my wife, I don't know what else you can come up with. And I've had the crap crap scared out of me so bad. The worst. I've been more ever been scared in my whole entire life, and I've done some pretty dumb stuff. But man, this is on a different level.
You want to come
Uh,
up to the steam vents with me?
what's that? Yeah, I'd love to.
Bring an
I'd
extra
love.
pair of pants.
Yeah. Yeah. That's for sure.
That's the first time I've ever had something where I couldn't deal with that. I mean, I couldn't move. And yeah, it was a poop my pants experience. That's exactly what it was. But
Yeah. I just felt like I had somebody hit me with a lightning bolt right in the middle of the chest, and
got your infrasound, did you?
I felt like there was electricity coming out of my fingers. That's what it felt like to me, and it instantly stopped me, and just I went from 0 to 100 like in a 1/10 of a second. Boom.
Was that night I
Yeah.
scared you when I heard the
Yeah.
tree breaks?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a night.
Yeah.
How
That's
long
that.
did it take you to get over that?
I don't know. I'm still not over it. I mean, there's so many things that I've experienced, like my two visions I had, I can't explain. I've watched Bigfoot videos and I've never had dreams about them or anything until when we went down camping this summer in July and I had that one vision. And then after I asked him to stop and I said, please and thank you, I heard the five wood knocks woke him up because I saw that black shadow leer
Oh
out
yeah.
the head, the shoulders, that big arm, and then I'm like, I had to wake him up because I didn't know I didn't know what to do. It scared me. That scared me. And then the second one I had in August, we were at home just hanging out, went to bed, and then I had that other vision, and I don't know why.
It's confusing. It is.
Hmm.
It's confusing because there's a meaning, but what is it?
Yeah, and they don't talk to me. They don't. They just show me. Like the first one was the five different faces, and then the second was that like 7 foot, 8 foot male that came out in that clear cut. He just looked at me. We locked eyes. He sat on that stump and looked forward, turned around, looked at me again. And then that was it. Nothing. No expression, no voices, no nothing.
Yeah.
He
Mine
wasn't
was.
really worried about you, was he?
I guess not.
Yeah.
He looked like he was at peace.
Mine was
He
the
did.
opposite. Down in Southern Oregon, in this one area. We'll just tell the story before, where we went down one time and we ended up leaving, and we were totally freaked out all the way down in there.
Hmm.
I mean, it was my head was on a swivel, her head was on a swivel. She started feeling really uncomfortable. I mean, she's like almost getting sick, where she wanted to get out of there. And so we left, and not long after that, I I don't know. I started getting hearing voices in my head telling me not to come back down. and it repeated
Mind
several
speaking to you, my friend.
3 days, and I worked swing shift, and I had a hell of a time going to bed and sleeping because it just kept repeating in my head, and at first I was thinking, well, it's anxieties or something, maybe, I'm looking for other avenues that it could be, but at the end of the day, it was like, no, I think somebody was trying to tell me something, it's like, don't come down here. We don't want you down here. But we ended up going back down again, and we left there in a hurry. Put it that way. We didn't stay very long. There was rock clacks, all kinds of stuff happening, and we took off. And we haven't been back down since. Have not been down there since. But I haven't had anything tell me not to come back down again after that. So maybe they
Maybe
thought,
that's why, because
yeah,
you haven't come back.
not a bad guy. Who knows? But
Yeah.
Well,
holy cow.
speaking of people that have their own attitude and their own mind about things. Okay, we started having these experiences clear back in the '80s, right? My wife has known me and Bradley fucking forever,
Right.
and when we came home that day, she knew something was weird. Okay, we went through all this stuff, all this time the kids were growing up, and all the stuff that we've done, all the stuff that I've gone through. We had to live in Florence before my wife actually became a real believer. I mean, she put up with us, and she acted like she put up with
He
us
was
and all that, but she wasn't really, she hadn't seen one. Okay, she's coming back from the house for there in Florence, and she's going up to 101. And so she drives up past the park. Well, there's Jesse Honeymoon Park is right there, and she goes up to 101. On the way there, there's a path. Well, one of them crossed the road right in front of her, and it wasn't a human, it wasn't a bear, and where that thing went, nobody would go, not even a bear. And so that's convinced her, and now she watches everything. I mean, you're not kidding me. She watches everything. She watches stuff I won't even watch, but she watches it.
That's awesome. Well, when I was telling you we are down Powers, Fernando went to go retrieve our stuff, and I thought, well, I'm gonna get out of the truck and walk down the road because, like I said, I keep telling him to look down the other side of the road. That's where they're coming down and going. Well, I was walking and I heard a loud noise. I looked up and this tree was just swaying, but there
Yep.
was, and I was like, well, that's kind of weird. So I'm walking down there. I just left the camera and everything in the truck because I knew we were just gonna leave. Well, all of a sudden the bushes start rustling, and I'm like, okay, this ain't right. And I'm thinking, well, why? So I yelled out his name, and he didn't answer. And I looked to my right. Here he comes down the mountainside, and I'm like, okay, well, that's not him. So I'm gonna turn around and go back because it was nothing growled or anything, but whatever was in there was dead.
Yeah.
He was just swaying, and the bushes were it's like someone was shaking them, and it was going back and forth. And I looked
And
over,
there was no wind, was there?
no wind,
No,
no wind.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's what happened to Jacqueline when she went back to the car that day.
Hmm.
She was sitting in the car, and we're talking back and forth on the walkie-talkies, and she says, the trees are blowing back and forth. She says, I'm moving my car over behind your truck.
Yeah.
And now one of the trees are broke off. Actually busted off now.
Wow.
Mm.
Yep. Tomorrow, I'm waiting. I can't wait till tomorrow.
I'm
Uh,
excited out.
but I'm going to bring my raincoat just in case, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be good. Hopefully, I don't know. It's supposed to rain all next week from what
Do you
it.
want to pick up that camera tomorrow? The one I
Yeah,
got down there?
yeah. I might as well. I'll bring up the other camera, to my other GoPro 13. I'll bring it up to you. But anyway, so things for the channel. Um, I got some stuff coming up. So my left knee has been kind of boogered up. I got a root tear meniscus that, come November 24th, they're going to go in and fix it, which is, pretty quick procedure, really. I don't think it's too long. It's microscopic surgery. But so that's going to leave me kind of hanging. So kind of worried about the channel on keeping content up, because keeping content going on the channel is a full-time job. Like I said, we've been at this for a year and a half, and it's every weekend we're out. That's pretty much what we've been doing, and we enjoy it. But it is a lot of work. Um, so I'm going to be laid up for, they say, 4 to 5 months. Hopefully it won't be that long. So, you know, the content might get skimpy on what we're doing for that reason, or, we'll figure some stuff out. We'll probably end up doing more lives, but yeah, that's my only concern moving on forward is come after, November 24th, and I'm going to be pretty much immobile for a little while anyways, and on crutches after that, and all this fun stuff that I'm not looking forward to.
I got a walker at home.
Yeah, I could use probably one of those little scooters, I guess. I don't know, but we'll see where where we're at by then, and hopefully we can keep stuff coming. But
You could be the driver. We could do stuff.
yeah, no, it'll be to a point where we'll get there and do that. But there's going to be
Yeah.
oh, oh wow, thanks a lot, Mr. Rick Timbush says he's got a wheelchair.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, I've got a wheelchair, right? But you probably want to rent it to me, not let me use it.
That's
But
a long time to be laid up, man. That's a long time.
yeah, it's not me. I mean, I like going to work. I like working. I love the people I work with, and I really don't want to be out. But if I don't do it now, it's going to be harder to do in the future, and I don't want to get arthritis, because the next thing after that is a knee replacement. So, and I do not want that.
You're too young to be having all them troubles.
Yeah. Hell, we got Mr. Brunette from Ireland. Glad you're
Hi
here.
there. Howdy.
All the way from
Welcome.
Ireland. So that's kind of the future of the channel for, I don't know, probably 6 months. So we're gonna keep at it, keep doing stuff as much as we can. But and then the weather's another thing that's gonna keep us down a little bit. It's not summertime is a great time, springtime is great to get out there and go find stuff, but in the wintertime makes it a little bit tougher. So it gets dark quick.
Quicker, yeah, bet.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah, really quick. Well, you're at the coast, at least you get to get the sunset, right? So you get a little
Oh,
bit.
it's pretty wild today, man. I'll send you a video. It was pretty rocking and rolling today when we went to town. I went and had the wife stop and we watched the rodeo, or watched the, I guess you call it the rodeo. We were watching the waves. Boy, they're wild.
Yeah,
King tides are supposed to be coming on Thursday, I guess.
yeah, the king tides.
King tides. Yep.
So I don't know. I'm shooting this out there for you viewers. If you know, you guys ever want to talk about your experiences or anything like that, I'm game.
Me too.
Yes.
I'm not much on doing podcast and interviewing people type deal. I like being out in the woods and looking around, but you know, I'm not going to be able to do that. So any of you guys out there have experiences that are willing to share them, I think it would be great. It would help us out anyways to keep stuff going. We put a lot of hard work into this channel, and a lot of hard work to get where we're at. So
You know what I'd like to do? I'd
what's
like
it?
to do one of these live things on the go. Figure out how we could do this while we're up in the woods, in the
Well,
snow.
you'd have to have internet. Mm, you'd have to have internet or something, to be able to do it.
True.
And there's only certain spots that you get it, and most of the time it's not very strong. It'd be ideal, it'd be neat to do, but you'd have to be in a good spot to do it, or have
Starlink.
a Starlink be able to do that. That would probably work.
Right.
But,
That would be great. That'd be fun.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so this is probably going to wrap it up. You got anything else, Jack?
No, I can't wait till the next time though. Till
Well,
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're going to be out squatching tomorrow. So we'll have a video On that. I got a bunch of doctor's appointments, so I don't know when probably next week sometime it'll come out. So anyways, thank you all the people that were watching and make comments.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, Patty, I really appreciate you. You're awesome.
Bye,
Yes,
Pat.
Patty.
And
You guys all have a good week.
yeah, we will. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
All
All right,
right.
everybody,
Bye.
Squatching the
All right. Take care. Cheerio.
All right.